Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in this video it's a little bit different. I'm gonna kind of sit down and talk about being a disabled veteran with a 100% rating. Full disclaimer, I do not work for the Department of Veteran Affairs. My affiliation is only as a disabled veteran. So saying that, I will be looking down. I did kind of jot down some notes so that I can touch bases, and this is not everything about VA or being a disabled veteran. I am just kind of talking about my own preferences and my own experiences. Let me say that versus preference. And it's a lot of veterans out there that are not aware of what their benefits are, or even when they get higher ratings, they're not, like, it's not thrown at them like, hey, this is what you can do. If you're not looking for it and you're not researching, you won't know. So just kind of a little bit about me. I am a United States Army disabled veteran. I got out of active duty in 2007. So prior to getting out, I did my VA physical and all of that stuff. So getting out, my rating was a little bit lower. I wasn't at 100%, but I did have a rating. So from there, I just kind of, like, things that I didn't put on my getting out physical, the ETS physical, I turned around and I would submit claims. So saying that is to say, fast forwarding to 10 years later, because in 2017 was when I became 100% total and permanent. Now, for disabled veterans, you can be 100% and not be total and permanent, because I think what happens is you get your rating and then the VA wants to give it a couple of years before they reevaluate you. When you are total and permanent 100%, you do not have to get reevaluated. That 100% is yours for the rest of your life. So those are the differences. So now with becoming 100% disabled, it kind of opened up a lot of benefits that I didn't know about, but then I started researching it. Automatically when you get your disability, you get compensation. So compensation, anywhere from, I think, from 10% or maybe 20% up, you get a certain amount of money each month. So once you're 100%, it's kind of capped off, and it all depends. You get your compensation is either with dependents or without, like your spouse or a child. And then also, like, when your child becomes over a certain age, and they even in college, you still can get benefits, monetary benefits for that as well. So once I became 100%, I kind of did some research, and when you get your letter from VA, most of us just kind of instantly look at the 100%. Nobody kind of goes down and actually reads all the paragraphs, because it does also show in there benefits that you qualify for, the commissary privileges and exchange and all of that. I did not pay attention to all of that. Not until I started doing research and was like, wait a minute, I think I can get. So first thing you can do once you become 100%, I went on e-benefits, which I think the system now is va.gov. I think they're linking all the systems from My Healthy Vet to e-benefits, so they all kind of link together. So when you go in there, you can pull your letters, and they have all the different letters. Let me see, I might try to pull them up. They have all the different letters that you can get, showing your benefits, showing if you are you're 100% total and permanent. It shows the amount of money that you get. I think it shows your dates. So there are different letters in there, and I think at the top of that list, I saw, let me see, va.gov. At the top of the list, it showed commissary letter. And when you open it up, it kind of just tells you about your not now. It talks about you being able to get an ID card. Now, when you get your ID card as the veteran, your ID card does not expire. Like, I have no expiration on mine. However, my daughter, I think hers is 4 years from the time she got it. I think my husband, so every 4 years. So you get divorced. After that, your spouse won't be able to get one. So every 4 years, as long as we're married, my husband will have a ID card. The ID card that you get when it's not the same as in the military. You don't get those medical benefits. However, you do get your medical benefits through VA, and I think at 100% you get a little bit more. It's like certain things that you can do. I think up until you're 100%, like you can't do dental, because VA do have dental. But when I was under 100%, nobody ever told me anything about the dental. But I think you can do the dental being 100%. So other than that, the benefits, you can be exempt, and this depends on what state you live in. You can be exempt from property taxes. You can be exempt from vehicle taxes. So the state that I live in, they do not honor any of those things, unfortunately. I wish they did. It would really be nice. But certain states will exempt you from paying property tax. I know South Carolina is one of them states. Also, Maryland is one of those states that you can be exempt from property taxes. So there are plenty of states that do it. And when you go on to the va.gov site and you go to download VA benefits letters, and like I said, the site is a little different now, because at one point for many years we did straight up e-benefits. There was no va.gov. And then My Healthy Vet was something completely different, where I can look at appointments and look at my prescriptions and all of that stuff. So now when you go in to look at your letters, and on here it shows you commissary letter, you can proof of drug coverage letter, like, because you are a disabled veteran, whether you're 100% or not, certain benefits you're going to get anyway. So now, as a 100% disabled veteran, like I said, the property taxes, you also, as a disabled veteran, period, you have civil service. You can be preferenced to get a job as a civil service, and that's working for the federal government. So that's a benefit that I know many veterans, me as well as my husband, have used. There is also the VA loans, and a lot of people get VA loans. And the VA loan, even though it says VA home loan, it is actually more of a guarantee. And I think that might be for another video, but veterans qualify to be able to buy a home, no money down. We don't have to get, I think it's called PMI insurance, and I think that is some expensive insurance. So as a disabled veteran, you really get some really good benefits. Also, and I did talk about the ID card, the exchange, and I think as of the end of last year or going into the beginning of this year, I think now veterans, whether you're 100% or not, can go into the PX. Let me see. I think you can go into PX, and I think you might can buy liquor, because I know working for as a civil service, and even if I never was in the military, we could go into the shop and purchase things, but you couldn't purchase tobacco, you couldn't purchase liquor, so certain things you couldn't purchase. But I think now the commissary is open to disabled veterans. You don't have to be 100% anymore, but even as a 100% veteran, you had that privilege to go to the commissary and the PX, because you got look like a dependent ID card. My kids had that ID card when I was active duty. So it kind of looks like a dependent ID card. So that's another good benefit. And then also, one of the bigger benefits that I found out about, it wasn't by accident, but I can't quite remember, is student loan discharge. Let me tell you, I did not know that you could get discharged for student loans. I'm going to go to that website real quick too. So what happened was, I was researching student loan forgiveness and all of that, I came across a site. It is it's actually called disabilitydischarge.com, and it talks about it's a total and permanent disability. All right, so and surprisingly, I went there to the site because I was trying to figure out, because I always see these student loan forgiveness, and I'm like, wait a minute, can I get my student loan discharged as a 100% disabled veteran? Yes, you can. Now, this site, Total and Permanent, you go to the site, it's the federal state aid is at the top of that. And what happens is it's an application process. So you can get federal loans, not private. So they can't be private loans. Like right now, I think Sallie Mae is private. And many moons ago, Sallie Mae was federal. So I think Navient, Great Lakes, if I'm not mistaken, the student loans I got forgiven was my student loans, and any student loans that I did as a Parent Plus. So all of those student loans was on this list. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I did it about 2 years ago, but I think my account should still be valid. But I had, I don't know, it had to be almost $100,000 worth of student loans. I'm telling you, I think I had to have almost $100,000 worth of student loans that I got forgiven, because did not know. I did not know that you could forgive all of the student loans. So I went to this website, and not only if you are 100% disabled, you also can get a student loan discharge under Social Security. So my mom got diagnosed with cancer. She's a veteran as well. She got diagnosed with cancer, and around the time she was going through the treatments and everything, she filed for Social Security. So she got Social Security, disability Social Security, and then the young lady that helped her applied for the student loan forgiveness, like the discharge. It's like a student loan discharge, and she was able to get it done under Social Security. So not only can you do it under total and permanent disability, but you also can do it under Social Security. So I think out of all of the benefits that being able to exempt home loans, not home loans, being able to exempt property taxes, which is amazing, because you just imagine your escrow is mainly your property taxes and insurance. So you took $300-400 off of your mortgage. That's winning. And then discharging student loans, because my biggest fear was when it was time to pay back student loans, it was going to be like 2 house notes. That was my biggest fear. And once I got the 100% and I was able to discharge it, it was like a weight lifted up off of me. So I'm telling you now. And the one other thing that I did want to talk about as far as getting loans discharged. So now, if you are a person that already had loan discharge, your student loans discharged, or you're 100% and you didn't do it yet, what I did learn when I became 100% back in 2017, and I want to say sometime from the time I got it done to a little bit after, they stopped looking at that amount of money that was discharged as income. So what was happening was, prior to 2017, if you had a student loan discharge, they would then send, like, especially if it was over $500, they would send a paper to the IRS. IRS would send you a letter saying, hey, whoa, you didn't count this income. Bro, because it wasn't income. They'll say, hey, you didn't count it, because I got the letter. I actually got it about a year or two, like last year. Like, it took forever for me to get it. Got the letter saying they counted that as income. $80,000-90,000 y'all counting as income. Whoa, no, how is that possible? So what I did, I took it to my tax lady, and she said, well, you got to write them a letter and do a solvent. All the solvent was a letter showing what I make, what I pay out. Just looking at the difference. I made this amount of money, but I paid this amount out. And that $90,000 is not a part of this income. So turned all of that paperwork in. Now, prior to me doing that, I started looking it up because I think I read on the website where I applied that it said something about it might be taxable. And I'm like, oh my God, how are y'all taxing this? It was taxable. The good thing was, because I did the solvent showing what I made versus what I paid out, it dropped that tax bill down to about $500. So I wasn't mad at that, because it could have been way more. Because I read articles about people doing that. The IRS sending them things and them owing $16,000 and this, and I'm like, wait, whoa. So I instantly, as soon as I find out something, I instantly go and start researching, what can I do to fix this? What can I do to fix this? And that's what I did. So for anyone from 2017 moving forward, it's not going to be considered as income. So that is absolutely a plus. But anybody 17 and earlier, I know they was having a hard time. Who wants to discharge it when you turn around and send me a tax bill for thousands and thousands of dollars? So, but I really think that educating ourselves, me as a veteran, you guys, if you know any veterans out there, definitely finding out what rights, what you have, what benefits. You want to be able to save money as much as possible. You want to get rid of any student loans that you can. Definitely get on that. It's a process. It takes a little bit of time. It's not as long as it took for you to find out if you was 100% or if your disability rating went up. But it's an application process. But it's not tedious. It's just simple things. You got to send them your letter showing that you were 100% total and permanent. Have to be total and permanent, though, just to kind of let you know that it can't be 100%, but they still